The bell above the diner door jingled softly as Harold Bennett stepped inside. It had been years since he'd walked into one of his diners without being recognized. Today, that was exactly what he wanted. Harold pulled his jacket tighter and adjusted the brim of his cap. To anyone watching, he looked like a tired traveler stopping for a cheap meal. But this diner, Bennett's Roadside Grill, was his. Customer reviews had been slipping. Complaints about rude service were increasing. Yet on paper, everything looked fine. Harold had learned long ago that numbers could lie. People couldn't. He took a seat in a corner booth and waited. No one came. Minutes passed. Finally, a waitress approached. Her name tag read Tina. She didn't smile. "What'll it be?" she asked flatly, not even making eye contact. Harold studied the menu. "I'll start with a coffee and the breakfast special," he said politely. Tina sighed. "You sure you can afford that?" she muttered, half under her breath. Harold blinked. "I'm sorry?" he asked. "Nothing," Tina said quickly, scribbling. "Just saying, it's not the cheapest thing." Harold forced a small smile. "Coffee is fine," he said. She walked off without another word. From his booth, Harold watched the room. He saw Tina laughing and joking with a group of regulars. He saw her greet them warmly, refill their cups without being asked. But with others, people who looked tired, older, or out of place, her tone changed. Sharp, dismissive, judgmental. Harold's coffee arrived late. It was lukewarm. He didn't complain. He waited. When the food finally came, the plate was missing bacon. He waved Tina over politely. "Excuse me, I think the bacon is missing," he said. Tina rolled her eyes. "That's extra," she snapped. "It's included on the menu," Harold said, pointing. Tina leaned closer. "Listen, sir," she said quietly but harshly. "If you're trying to get free food, it's not happening." Several nearby customers glanced over. Harold felt a familiar tightness in his chest. Not anger, disappointment. "I'm not trying to get anything free," he said calmly. "I just want what I ordered." Tina laughed under her breath. "People like you always say that." "People like me?" Harold asked. Tina straightened up. "You know, always complaining. Always trying to get more for less." Harold stared at her. He had served food himself when he was young. He remembered what it felt like to be judged, to be looked down on. This diner was built on treating everyone with respect. This was not that. Harold ate what was on his plate. He paid his bill in cash. Then he stood. Instead of heading for the door, he walked to the counter. The manager on duty, a man named Scott, stood behind it, scrolling on his phone. "Excuse me," Harold said. "Could I speak with the manager?" Scott looked up slowly. "That's me," he said. "What's the problem?" Harold gestured lightly toward Tina, who stood nearby. "I had a disappointing experience," Harold said. "And I think you should know how your staff is treating customers." Scott barely reacted. "Tina's one of my best servers," he said. "She doesn't cause problems." Harold nodded. "I understand," he said. "But today she did." Tina crossed her arms. "He was being difficult," she said. "Always asking for stuff." Harold looked at Scott. "I ordered what's clearly on your menu," he said. "And I was insulted for it." Scott shrugged. "We're busy," he said. "If you don't like how we do things, you don't have to come back." The words hit harder than Tina's insults. Harold took a slow breath. Then he reached into his wallet. He didn't pull out cash. He pulled out a card. Scott glanced at it. His eyes narrowed, then widened. The card read, "Harold Bennett, owner and founder." The diner seemed to go silent. Tina's face drained of color. Scott froze. "That's not funny," Scott said. Harold placed the card flat on the counter. "It's not a joke," he said calmly. Scott picked it up, hands shaking. This is real?" he asked. Harold nodded. "I built this diner from a single grill and a borrowed fryer," Harold said. "I promised myself that anyone who walked through these doors would be treated with dignity." Tina swallowed hard. I didn't mean." Harold raised a hand. "Today, I watched you treat some customers with kindness," he said. and others with disrespect. That tells me you're not serving people. You're judging them. Tina's eyes filled with tears. I was just stressed, she said. It gets hard. Harold's voice softened. Stress explains behavior, he said. It doesn't excuse it. He turned to Scott. And you, Harold said. You dismissed a customer instead of listening. That tells your staff their behavior doesn't matter. Scott looked down. I should have handled it differently, he said quietly. Harold nodded. This diner's reputation is built one interaction at a time, he said. Today, I saw how easily that can be damaged. He looked around at the customers, then back at Tina. For now, Harold said, you'll be taken off the floor for retraining. If you want to stay here, you'll earn it by how you treat people. Tina nodded, tears rolling. Yes, sir, she whispered. Harold turned to Scott. We'll talk privately after this, Harold said. About leadership. Scott nodded. As Harold walked toward the door, a woman in a nearby booth spoke up. Thank you, she said quietly, for standing up for people like us. Harold gave a small smile. That's what this place was built for, he said. Outside, Harold paused. Sometimes the truth didn't need a spotlight. It just needed someone willing to walk in and be treated like everyone else. Only then could the real story be told. And today the truth had been revealed.